Rivo Tuvikler, the CEO of Tallinn Airport. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, so would you mind telling me and the audience a bit about your role and what it means for the airport?
Yeah, as I said, I'm CEO of the airport, and my role is to look that airport develops in the balanced way in all the directions where it's needed, and I think sustainability is one very important part that the whole industry, aviation, but all other industries as well, need to take into account. Because I personally believe that if you are not CO2 neutral by 2030, then you are out of business, because customers are not coming to your business anymore, or banks don't lend you, or government puts taxes on you. So you need to get CO2 neutral for sure.
My next question to you is, what is your airport currently doing for sustainability?
Yeah, we have set the CO2 neutrality by 2030 as our target, and we have a roadmap for that as well set up. At the moment, we have done a lot in solar area, so we have built solar farms in our airport, and this year, for example, we expect that about 35 to 40% of our electricity, what we use, we actually produce from our own solar farms. So it means that actually 35-40% less energy we are buying from the grid, and this is purely, let's say, renewable energy what we are doing. So we, thanks to that, we actually decrease our CO2 emissions quite much. Last year, if you compare 2018 and 2022, then we have decreased our CO2 emissions about 34%. But last year we made a lot of these investments to our solar farms, and then this year we expect actually minus 64% compared to 2018. So I think we have done quite much already, but still we are on the halfway to go.
Okay. And so on that note, so what are some of the targets that you are setting to achieve this?
We have set target to be CO2 neutral by 2030. We have also thought that to become really the net zero by 2030. Probably this is more complicated, but to become CO2 neutral, I think 2030 is achievable.
What are some of these challenges that you're facing in currently, trying to achieve this?
I think there are many challenges ahead, but it's maybe usual in all businesses that, for example, if we started with the solar farms, then we need to prove to our authorities that the solar panels are not reflecting. We went through this process. Actually, it was now looking back, then I think the process was quite smooth. Then we had the issues with how to connect our solar farms to the grid. So there are a lot of these issues. But I think eventually all these problems can overcome if you really want and if you join forces. So.
Absolutely, yeah. And finally, that's a fun, light-hearted question. So are there any interesting trends in sustainability that you've been following?
We are looking what happens in hydrogen area. We look at it from the two perspectives. One is actually three perspectives. One is the hydrogen airplanes. If they are coming, then we need to be ready to refuel hydrogen planes. So we need to know what are these developments there. Another thing is actually the sustainability, that how to reduce even more our CO2 emissions, how to use hydrogen perhaps in our ground equipment and so on. And third, actually what we are looking is actually the production of hydrogen. So as we know that in the future there is more need for hydrogen, perhaps we can also be part of this production process. We have in Estonia actually quite many airports, and in some airports we actually have quite much free space, perhaps what we can use for producing hydrogen. So.